You're live.
You're live.
All right, everybody. That's way too much noise out in the audience. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you guys are talking. It's all good. Thank you for being here tonight. It's June 3rd, and you're at the Town of Poolesville Commissioner meeting. All the commissioners are here in the house tonight, which is awesome. Assistant Manager Niles is here. Town Manager Wade is here. Town Engineer John is here, sporting a cool cop mustache tonight, for the record. And then we're here tonight. We're going to be doing regular business, but we also have a public hearing, so you'll hear me start that in just a minute. Can't hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm afraid I have too many years of fire engine silence.
Fair enough. I'll speak into the microphone a little bit better for you, too.
Much better, thank you.
My pleasure. Happy to help. Guys, thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. We start, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jeff, if you could lead us. Sing loud, everybody.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, good job, Jeff. Thank you for doing that. Okay, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a public hearing on proposed ordinance number 229. The proposed ordinance is to amend the Poolesville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 7, titled Forest Conservation. The file for this public hearing contains the following exhibits. Number 1, proposed ordinance number 229. Number 2, notice of public hearing. Number 3, copies of the May 24 and May 29, 2024 issue of the Frederick News Post containing the notice of the public hearing. Any person wishing to do so may now testify or ask questions of the commissioners about the proposed ordinance number 229 after giving your name and address. So I've got two sign-up sheets here. One is for the public hearing, and one is to talk about topics. I don't have anybody signed in for the public hearing, so is anybody here to talk about the public hearing? All right, very good. The record will stay open till this Friday at
4 p.m.
4 p.m. We now conclude the public hearing part of this meeting. Thank you for enduring that. All right, very good. So now on our commissioner announcements and committee reports, anybody wants to lead off? Who's ready? I always look at you, Jeff.
I have several.
Okay, you're up.
I attended the 50th anniversary of the Sugarland Citizens Association at Linden Farm on Martinsburg Road, and it was very well attended, beautiful venue. We also got the opportunity to speak with Lily Chee, one of our state representatives, Marilyn Balcombe, of course, District 2 from Montgomery County Council, Dale Tibbetts, he's from the Mark Elrich's office, Montgomery County Executive, Jim Brown, of course, Lynn Coing, myself, and and many other people attended, so it was a great event. I also, on June the 2nd, attended the performance of the Essence Dance Studio, Hope Garden Ballet. The performance of all the dancers was just spectacular, the little kids. It was just great to see. Then the second half was the performance of Cinderella. That was, again, positively outstanding. The scenery, the magic pumpkin carriage, the ingenuity of Claire Jones and I'm sure, and her mom or dad is just amazing. So, yeah, Claire Jones with Essence Dance Studio. She can be very proud of her accomplishments. Just a super event. It was very well attended. Lots of people on the Commons. Great to see. Additionally, on May 30th, I and others met with Ruben Rosario over at Locals, and he's the newly appointed Western County liaison from Mark Elrich's office, if I got that right. Yeah, close enough. On May the 28th, and I and other commissioners met with Senator Ben Cardin here at Town Hall. We talked about several different important topics, including PFAS, the Poolesville's remediation success. So thanks what's your name? Niles. Niles and Wade on that, taking the lead. And of course, the never-ending topic of White's Ferry. And also on May the 27th, I and other commissioners attended a Memorial Day event, a Wayland Commons hosted by the American Legion Post 247. On the 25th of May, I participated at the MCFRS, Montgomery County Fire Rescue Services, car seat technician, so I'm a car seat technician with Montgomery County, and we did that on Station 34. I plan to be attending the Maryland Municipal League meeting in Ocean City in June. I'm also attending the Maryland State Firefighters Association meeting or convention in Ocean City as well. That's also in June. I received an email from a neighbor in Elizabeth Delight about the street sweeping, so I promptly swept that over to Niles Way. And they asked Preston to take care of it, and apparently I hadn't heard any more, so I
All good.
assumed it was taken care of. And regarding announcements, so the Poolesville Senior Club has a couple of things coming up. The Meet the Appraiser, that's taking place on, I didn't write the name down. And we look at the Poolesville Seniors website, and you'll see all about it. The annual Oddfellow Summer Picnic is coming up on June the 22nd. Again, look on the Oddfellows website to attend that. Anyone over 55 is very welcome. The Chamber of Commerce, the Poolesville Area Chamber of Commerce, huge thanks to Dr. Pike and Valega for hosting the WUMCO food drive, and that looked very, I didn't really see the outcome, but I'm sure Kate Longbreak over at WUMCO is very, very appreciative. Again, thanks to Dr. Pike and for providing the location, the truck, and all that kind of stuff. And the Chamber of Commerce, the Poolesville Area Chamber of Commerce is now up to 151 members. So we're having a membership drive, so if you represent an organization, please contact myself or anyone from the Poolesville Area Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be happy to take your membership check. The Parks Board, so now this is kind of shifting, Jim, into Parks Board.
You're next.
Yeah, thank you. So the, the Parks Board is meeting on Wednesday. We only have a few things really on our agenda, which include finalizing the Trails Working Group and following up on the sidewalk priority list. And then we have a walkabout schedule. We usually do a walkabout once a year.
Yeah, at the beginning of the meeting, there'll be a walkabout of the sidewalks in Tama. So this is related
Oh, good,
to
good.
the prioritization of the sidewalks.
Yep.
Going to walk that area first to get a sense of it. Tama 2, we're actually already doing some sidewalk.
Oh,
work,
well,
and
so
we'll
I just
talk
have a few more things. I just want to, I think I mentioned this before, but the sidewalk priority list is priority 1 is any sidewalk near a school where there is no existing sidewalk, and that's a bit of an issue over by the high school already. And sidewalks that need widening or need a major, or have major damage, sidewalks must be, 5 feet wide and no more, because some of the slabs get out of whack, and they can't be any more than a 1/4 inch, above or below grade, which is ADA compliant then. And I think that is it for me. Thank you.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Jeff? Nope. Martin, can you help us?
Probably not. The Planning Commission, as you know, has not met again since we last met, so I don't have anything to report there. Like Jeff, I attended Memorial Day, the Memorial Day observance out on Wayland Commons, which was excellent. Julian Sig always does a great job with that. I went to the Riverworks, Taste of Riverworks Festival, which was very well attended. I'm probably missing people here, but Brian Feldman, Lily Chi, Greg Wims, Linda Foley, and there may have been other people that were there, along with lots of great residents. I saw a ballet in the park, partially because it's in my front yard, partially because my daughter wanted to watch it, and partially because it was interesting. And that's all I have.
Great. Thanks, Martin. Appreciate that. Ed?
Let's see here. In terms of sustainable Poolesville, so we had met last week and we talked about the sustainable. Can you hear me there? Let me make sure. Am I on now?
Yep, you're on.
All right. So we continuing to get the packets done for our sustainable certification, and so that should be coming to Niles. That should be coming to you soon.
Yep.
All right, and then we're trying to go for the silver, one step above where we were last time we received the award that you see posted up there. And then for our Pick It Up Poolesville, for those of you who aren't familiar with Pick It Up Poolesville, it's a campaign that encourages neighbors to come out. We meet, then we go around to different sites to help pick up around the community. So there'll be a new flyer that will come out with the QR code for folks to go on Sign Up Genius and join. We're also talking with 2 different composting companies just to get information. We're not at that point now, but we're at the point where we're continuing to learn and get information about composting. So that's what's happening with Sustainable Poolesville. in terms of, I also was able to join the Memorial Day recognition. They did a great job with that. Couple of upcoming events that I'll be attending on behalf of Poolesville. Well, one of them will be the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce Business Award Dinner. So I'll be going representing Poolesville. That will be on the 5th of this week, this Wednesday. Then also, although I won't be representing Poolesville, but Poolesville will be in the house. On the 14th of June, I'll be the host for a new show with Montgomery County Media, and Andrew Friedson will be my first guest, and this is on the Small Business Network, and we'll be focusing on ways small businesses can get resources and information to help their businesses in Montgomery County. All right, that's it.
Wow. Ed, you are busy. All right, Sarah, help us out.
Okay. Also attended the memorial service and the Taste of Riverworks, and just want to add a big thanks to some of our incredible high school students. They had a trumpet player at the memorial service who did a wonderful job, and a flute player from the high school who stepped in last minute to help us out with the reserve wind ensemble at Taste of Riverworks. So big shout out to those high school musicians. The Fair Access Committee has not met since our last meeting, so I don't have a big update, but we are in full swing of preparations for the Poolesville Day Breakfast. We've sent out save the date reminders to all of our representatives, and we are in the process of scheduling and conducting interviews with local organizations that we've been working with over the last year, gathering pictures where we are highlighting and showcasing the incredible work that we've done over the last year. So we're just kind of in that preparation process part of it. And that's it. That's all I have for Fair Access Committee today.
Cool. Thank you. Yes, very good. Appreciate that. My report is, like, we all attend to the same thing, so I won't go over all the same stuff that we were all together at. But you can rest assured that your commissioners are out there in the public, meeting with people. We're out there carrying the flag with all of our council members, our delegates, all the people that matter, that provide influence for Poolesville, that can potentially provide funding for the projects that we're looking for. We go to these events. We all have better things to do, including being with our family and doing things. But it's important for Poolesville that we do those, that we network, and that we work hard on behalf of the town. So I want to thank my fellow commissioners for actually always working hard and sacrificing and doing what they need to do to push the town forward. And you do a great job with it. And just for instance, at the Sugarloaf Citizens Association, we had 2 council members, a delegate, the representatives from the county executive. They were there, and we all talk to all of them all the time. They know us all by face, they know what Poolesville's issues are. It's all because these guys work hard. So good job with that, everybody. Jeff, I think you were at the C&O Canal Trust meeting that we had here. Did you come to that? Yes. Was that the one? Were you here?
I believe I was, but
Yeah.
I think I was, no, I don't.
That's right. You don't have to go any further with it. So the C&O Canal Trust actually had held one of their meetings here in Poolesville. I did a post on it, and it was actually a really, really good meeting. As you guys know or may know or not know, and we'll publish it anyway, the C&O Canal had a recent study done on it, and it showed that, Link, what was the total? How many dollars are spent here?
$85 million, not just in Montgomery
Yeah.
County, but all 4 of the counties along the C&O Canal.
Yeah, so the C&O Canal has a huge following, and it's a huge economic generator. And here in Montgomery County, thanks to the people that have been, that keep a close eye on us, like John Woltz, we've learned that this is just, if you go there, and you guys know that because everybody walks the C&O Canal, everybody spends time down there, it's hugely underfunded. The parks, the United States Park Service barely scrapes by. There's been a lot of degradation of the park itself. So having and hosting the C&O Canal Trust was a big deal. And they got to hear it firsthand how important the C&O Canal is to Poolesville and the Western County region. So it was a great presentation by several people that did, including the Historic Medley District. We did have Ruben Rosario out here. He's the new up-county guy, and we'd all spent time with him, so building those relationships again. I took him to Crossvines, and the manager of Crossvines, Tim. So this is how the conversation goes. Ruben goes, yeah, I come from New York, and Tim goes, oh, I come from New York, and he goes, and where from? He goes, I come from the Bronx, and he goes, I come from the Bronx. So they're like, said, where'd you go to school? Went to the high school. I went to that high school. So this is our up-county representative has already got a great link with Crossvines. They knew each other. I was waiting for some other further connection, dated his sister or whatever, but it never got there. But it was great. It's a small world, and it's, they had an instant connection, and Ruben is connected with areas, thanks to Link, Fair Access, all of our committee members for working with him. It sounds like he could be around for a long time. The county really likes him. We met with, so today, Wade, Niles, and myself met with M&T Bank to talk about how we can enhance our banking relationship, how the town can enhance their banking relationship to help further along the projects that we're working on. So if you guys know, obviously, inflation's gone a little bit crazy and prices are way up. And we're going through a time period right now where we can, as a town, we can save money consistently. We're good physical people. We watch your P's and Q's. We make sure our taxpayer money is very, very tightly held. And yet, if you save for projects these days, they will cost more faster than you can save. So we're trying to establish a banking relationship, a better banking relationship with M&T so that we can try to get in front of the curve. We've got plenty of projects in town that we're working on. We know that we're working on the co-op, idea of a co-op. We're working on the idea of a bubble for the pool. There's things that we need money for that, and we're such good savers that, how long did we save till we could build this town hall?
15 years.
15 years we saved so we could build town hall. So we're good savers. We're good. We watch your money. But at the same time, we've got to get ahead of the curve. And when inflation keeps eating up our savings and doesn't allow us to go forward, we've got to establish better relationships. So M&T is now our primary bank. We're trying to make sure that we have the best relationship possible with them. We're working on possible financing for the co-op. We're looking at other projects as well. We have the money, but it may make more sense to borrow the money to do it. And we'll come back to the public with all this and have further conversations, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that we're working hard to do that. I don't know if my fellow commissioners are up on this or not, but the chamber is having a multi-chamber gathering at Crossvines this Wednesday from 5 to 7. So everybody's welcome to go. They want you to buy a ticket, but, we should be able to go in there. So that's 5 to 7 this Thursday at Crossvines. I definitely plan on being there.
I'm going, I'll be there.
Okay, good. Yeah. So if I don't show, you'll cover for us then. All right, thank you.
Now you're out.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's good. Anybody else now want to volunteer so I don't have to go? Okay.
I'll definitely be there.
All right, good. That's 2 coverage. All right,
Can't
good.
pass up.
All right, hey, guys, the 3 of us, we can take it easy that night. Anyway, no, so I'll be there, and I'm sure we're going to go. All right, that's all I have for my report. As you guys know, everybody that's in the audience knows, you can always approach us through all of our various means of reaching out to us. If you tag me in a Facebook post, I will respond. If you go in through our town website to the Town of Commissioners, you can send us an email. You can make it anonymous. There's multiple ways to reach out to all of us. All of our emails are on there as well. Feel free to reach out. If you need us, we're available. All right, very good. So the regular public comment time for our meeting is happening now. We've got 2 people signed up. It's Bob Roit and Lexi Huber. And Bob, since you signed up first, you're up first. You beat Lexi to the draw by, a minute. It's good. You're on. You're live. Just speaking in the microphone.
At the last meeting, there was a discussion on doing something in the name of diversity. And yet, you start the program with the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I don't know whether you're aware of what the words in the pledge are, or you're just doing a rote statement. Because in the pledge, it talks about one nation, indivisible. And diversity, one of the definitions for diversity is fragmenting. It doesn't make sense going under this diversity with this, and the flag policy is similar, because you've got issues that are gonna come up from that. The town is setting what flags are gonna be flown. What if somebody takes exception to a flag that you're flying and wants their flag to be flown? And you disallow it? You're going to possibly segment the population one against another. You're also opening yourself up to a lawsuit under freedom of speech. And so I think from that perspective, you shouldn't be going forward with this. There's other issues that I have with it, namely, there's going to be costs involved. You're going to have to put a flagpole up. The flags that flying now shouldn't be messed with. Matter of fact, one of the flags that you propose to fly on a given month or whatever is the POWMII flag. Now, that flag is authorized to be flown under the American flag on a regular basis. So I don't think, I don't think you're doing it right with that. I just think you're opening yourself up under this diversity, equity, and inclusion crap to bigger problems than you've got with it. And I think from a personal standpoint, the body ought to develop some spinal stability and stay away from the social issues. You got enough on your plate, there's enough to run the town. But I don't think you should get into the diversity issues. I mean, one of the flags that was suggested being flown was, I had it written down. Oh, the pride flag. Why are we going with one group of people? Are you going to also have a heterosexual awareness month? I doubt it.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that.
What?
We have not talked about that.
Well,
And Bob,
that's in the proposed policy.
But
I think it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I want to say something, and I appreciate you coming up and giving your opinion. You've always had a thoughtful opinion as a longtime resident of the town. This is all in discussion.
I understand.
And you're giving us your opinion, and I appreciate the opinion, but it is something that we're all in discussion on. It sounded like you implied just a little bit that decisions have already been made, and that's not the case. And I just have to let you know that this is a elected body that understands the gravity of the discussion. I think we all recognize the sanctity of our three governmental flags. And I'd like to say that, that's, as Poolesville is a welcoming, inclusive place, and we're going to figure out a way to signify that.
Breaking it down, whether it's Black History Month, the Pride flag, you should just stay away from the social issues.
But I want to say this to you. This is about, I know that you said, so the word diversity, the roots of the word diversity are divisive. And this is about celebrating all the differences that exist in Americans, and at the same time, never questioning the unity of the United States. They're not mutually inclusive. You can't just say, if I'm celebrating diversity, that we don't have unity. So I hear you loud and clear, but I just want to make sure you have a clear distinction. I view us as completely unified, but we can still celebrate diversity while we are unified.
Well, I think if you're all going to be blowing in the wind with this diversity stuff, you're all turning into a bunch of political hacks.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, very good. And listen, thanks again for your opinion. I appreciate it. All right, very good. Next up, Lexi, while the seat's still warm,
Hello, everyone. Lexi Huber, 17620 Soper Street. Thank you so much for your time. I wanted to come and speak about the exciting stuff that you have in front of you, specifically the Pride Month and also the Pride flag. And I'll say a couple of statements in that I think this is in line with our government. Westmore declared June Pride Month in 2013. The Pride flag is being shown over our Capitol. Montgomery County, as of June 1st, changed all of their social media banners to be representative of Pride. And currently, over both Rockville and Silver Spring, the Pride flag is flying. So, while there may be a concern that this is not a government-sanctioned flag, it is indeed, in not just Maryland, but in Montgomery County and our surrounding townships, a valid place for recognition of diversity of people.
Great. Agreed.
Awesome.
Thank you. You guys, so everybody that's here tonight, I really appreciate you being here. We'll have a chance for you to have, if you want to come up and say your piece, we'd love to have you here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to get to that part of the agenda, and then I'm going to open up the floor for a general conversation, and whoever wants to come up, we'll just keep it in order and love to hear from you. Back to our agenda items. We have minutes from our last meeting. I think everybody was here in one way, shape, or form between Zoom and here. So if you've had a chance to review the minutes, please let me know that. And if someone wants to make a motion for approval, I'd appreciate it.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from May 20th, 2024?
I'll second his motion.
Motion made, second by Ed. Any questions on the minutes? Any changes, updates? Nope. All in favor of approving the minutes from our last meeting, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nobody? Great. Thank you for that. Before I get to the proclamation, do you mind if I cross it up just to go to the Poolesville Crossing PIA so that we can kind of hit that? I don't think that has any controversy to it, and we can do what we need to do to knock it off.
Sure. So yes, the Poolesville Crossing PIA is in front of you guys here, it was sent to you. So this, the subject development is located on the corner of Wooten Avenue and Fisher Avenue. It consists of 38 townhomes. The Planning Commission has gone through a development review process and have approved the development with certain conditions. And the PIA kind of formalizes these conditions and protects the town through a written agreement to ensure that the obligations of the contractor or developer are seen through. So you guys are the last approval stamp for it, but it's been through all the processes up to this point.
I'm sorry, multiple public hearings?
Public hearings for a PIA.
Well, no, not this, but for the development itself.
2-year process of looking at the plan itself and developing it.
Great. Jeff, go ahead.
Were they going to come in and make I don't know, maybe this is redundant, another presentation, the developer?
No, this is it, no.
No? And the questions that I sent a half a dozen questions to you this morning about crosswalks and enlarging Wooten and Fisher for the eventual roundabout?
No, they have to dedicate 5,000 square foot of the corner property that they own to facilitate the roundabout.
That's going to take like a bite, so to speak, out of
Their property, yeah.
corner at Wooten and Fisher? On
They
the-
won't physically make the cut itself. That'll be a part of the streetscape process with the federal money we have waiting for.
And the sidewalks, because I'm on the Parks Board and we're always talking about sidewalks. So the sidewalks we're going to include, not a sidewalk, the crosswalk.
The crosswalk was,
It's not really an intersection, but it's kind of more or less behind CVS, near Cattail, where a lot of,
that's right. That will be implemented with the raised crosswalk when we do streetscape because there's several other improvements that need to occur, and we need to make sure that the State Highway Administration is happy with the line of sight around that curve for the exact placement of it. So that's all part of the streetscape process we have grant funding for.
well, just a curiosity, the Poolesville owns that part. Why is SHA involved?
Because it's federal money that goes to the state, the $4 million we received, so it goes through them, so they have their hand in it.
And will Montgomery County allocate another crosswalk person?
That we don't know at this point. We don't even know if the roundabout's going to happen. That's also, we have to make sure we have the right distances on all four corners and the right trajectory going into it and coming out of it. So that's not even a done deal to say that's going to happen or not yet.
And I know I didn't ask this before, maybe it's a little unfair, might not know. I know they requested a height variance, was that approved?
The height variance was approved, yes, it'll be the same height as the townhouses across the Fisher Avenue.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference in elevation there. Okay, so are they going to come back and
Same.
make another presentation?
No, they are finished.
Oh, all right. So we're just whistling in the wind right now, or what?
What you're doing is ensuring that the agreement is approved by this board here, the legislative body, which then holds a lot more salt to it as far as making sure the obligations of the contract are fulfilled.
And so remember, we've already taken several hits at this already. We've created the zoning or approved the zoning of it. We've created what are the other components of this that
Approved the taps years ago.
the taps, the allocations.
No, it's been through forestation, through sediment control with the county. It's been through all the review processes.
Yeah, so it's not,
I remember that, I do also remember that I was not entirely pleased with the design because I thought it was too close to the road, and maybe there's too big of a crowd here to just repeat all this, but the developer said that they were one of the developers in Clarksburg, and to me, that kind of just makes the blood go out of my face, so I'm not keen about that. I guess it's too late.
well, not too late. I mean, we have a representation that's been on the planning commission that have worked their way through that entire process. I believe he took your concerns to them, and they were at least discussed at various points in that part of the process. So, I mean, I know even just the little things have taken place on this where trees were eliminated. What did they do? They did some things to,
They actually cut back the number of townhomes they were going to build. They had to actually move them back off of the roadways to give it a little bit more depth, so it did seem as close up to the roadway as
and that was one of your concerns.
Oh, wait, it wouldn't seem like it was, or it wouldn't be, because it was 25
physically
feet,
will not be. It's like 40 feet now,
40 feet
off
instead
of
of
the edge
25
of
feet.
the road. Yeah.
I had never heard that until now. It makes me happier.
And one of the things
Yeah.
that I learned since I've been a commissioner is urban planners don't like to have like the parking lot and then right up against the street and then the homes behind it, because that's not really putting your best foot forward. If you look back at what Poolesville looked like 150 years ago, the homes were probably close to the street, and it's preferable to have your business or your homes in the parking lot around back in the case of townhomes.
So Wade, you're telling me that the homes that are along Fisher Avenue could be 40 feet away from the curb?
From the curb line, yeah, because there's a right-of-way of 15 feet, and then there's a 25-foot starts from there and moves back for 40 feet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in the room, so we don't need to talk about it now.
It's okay to talk about it. It's fine. I don't think we're going to change anything, but you can talk about it.
That's what my comment was about whistling. Okay,
It doesn't matter. It's a
Thank you,
civics
Lee.
lesson for everybody in the audience. It's good. Yeah, and nothing else for it, Jeff?
Well, as long as you ask me,
I did. Yeah.
I saw not sure what the technical term is, but the artist renderings, and I thought they were not good. I was quite disappointed.
Okay. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder
Yes, it certainly is.
And the buyer.
and the buyer.
Certainly is. Okay, thank you very
And
much.
the planning commission, did you guys, I know that with, this, there was some talk about that at the planning commission level, what his plans were, what the developer's plans were, et cetera.
It was discussed and feedback was given, and they made changes based on the feedback, and I think the planning commission's consensus was that it was a pretty good looking project in the end. Not to knock the townhomes that are across the street, but I do think it's going to look better than those. I liked it personally, but I respect that you didn't. That's certainly understandable.
Okay.
And the developer did seem pretty committed to Poolesville. I don't know, as much as you can tell with just somebody coming in and
He does have family in Poolesville,
he does
too.
have family in Poolesville.
Yeah.
So and he made some concessions and yeah.
And it did follow the architectural guidelines we have in place that talks about, the houses are not just straight townhomes lined up. They have gable ends, they have protruding fronts, they have a front porch that goes all the way around and around the corner to give it that feel like the old Frederick Pool House type of structure. So I think a lot of thought did go into it, the elevations.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. So we need to, at this point, we need to make a motion, correct?
Yes.
Got it. All right, so the name of it is, the name of the development is Poolesville Crossing. We're here to make a motion to approve the public interest agreement. Improvement agreement, sorry about that. To approve the public improvement agreement. Did I say that right? Okay, thank you. Don't write it down exactly. All right, good. So we have a chance to, it's our job to make that motion, and then have a second to go for approval of it. If anybody has any other questions, again, this has been going on for years, and so it's not like we're breaking new ground here. If you have questions, now's the time, but otherwise, I need a motion.
You have any questions? Anything else?
Well, I'm going to vote no, so.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the Poolesville Public Improvement Agreement for Poolesville Crossing, the Donegan property.
Great, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Sure, I'll second the motion.
Motion from Martin, second from Ed. Any other discussion or questions on it? None? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
I am.
We have one nay from Jeff. Motion is approved. They're moving forward. All right, good stuff. Thanks for the good discussion. Thanks for all the hard work on the planning commission and town staff on this over the years.
Yeah, and just because I voted no, doesn't mean I don't think you guys, did the best job.
I got you.
It just didn't line up with what I wanted to see in that corner, so.
You wanted a gas station? Let's put that on record. Hey,
So moving right along.
Right, you're right. Put it on the record, Jeff was looking for a Wawa. We'd love to put a Trader Joe's there. All right, very good. Thank you for that, guys. Good discussion. Glad we're here about that. All right, next up, we have a proclamation, and we're here to recognize Pride Month in Poolesville. And again, the town commissioners have been very active in this process over the last several months, and trying to formulate a strategy and a way to recognize the various groups and to promote inclusivity inside our town, which is definitely one of our missions that we all embrace. So I kick it over to Sarah to talk about our proclamation and kind of lead us into the future.
Awesome. Thank you. So what I was hoping to do is give a short presentation and then I know that Sam has some words that he wants to share and some other members of the audience as well. And then do you mind if we end with the proclamation? Or
Absolutely.
Or would you like to?
No, it's fine. It's we go in the
Cool.
whatever order is appropriate.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to give a brief presentation, more for context and more for our audience, because this is being recorded. I am definitely not the expert in the room, but I think it's worth reminding ourselves why we're here. Okay, wait, am I doing this wrong, Niles? What am I doing to?
Just make sure that it's on there. Now try to roll it back.
Woo!
Too far.
Okay.
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, origins of Pride Month began with the Stonewall riots in 1969. The police raided Stonewall Inn, which was a popular gay bar in New York City's Greenwich Village. Raids on gay bars were commonplace at the time, resulting in arrests and public humiliation and extortion and general harassment. However, on this night, the patrons fought back, sparking what is now known as the Stonewall Uprising. The Stonewall riots were not an isolated event, but the culmination of years of oppression and discrimination faced by the LGBTQ+ community. This act of defiance ignited a series of protests and demonstrations, adding to the growing gay rights movement taking place in San Francisco and other urban places. The bravery shown by those at Stonewall served as a catalyst for change, rallying the community to demand their rights and equality. So every time, do I need to? Okay, got it. So the first anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising was commemorated with the Christopher Street Liberation Day March in June of 1970, about a year later, exactly 1 year later. This event is considered the first Pride Month event and set the precedence for future Pride celebrations. Thousands of people marched from Stonewall Inn to Central Park for a Be In, demanding equal rights and celebrating their identities. This march was not just a celebration, but also a powerful demonstration of solidarity and resistance. It laid the foundation for what would become an annual tradition, evolving over decades into the modern Pride Month that we know today. In 1978, Harvey Milk, one of our nation's first publicly gay elected officials, asked artist Gilbert Baker to create a symbol for the LGBTQ community. Baker chose a flag, which he saw as the most powerful symbol of pride. Baker saw the rainbow as a natural flag from the sky, so he created the classic rainbow pride flag, which actually had 2 additional colors into it that they removed for ease of production. The rainbow pride flag has become an enduring symbol of queer pride and solidarity, and since then, many additional pride flags have been created representing different genders and identities. And in 2018, graphic designer Danielle Quasar modified the classic rainbow flag by adding a 5-colored chevron to place a greater emphasis on the need for inclusion and progression, especially for intersecting communities that still experience enduring prejudice and discrimination. The black and brown stripes represent LGBTQ plus communities of color, along with the colors pink, light blue, and white, which are used on the transgender pride flag. Let's see. Sorry, I'm really struggling here. Hold on. I'll get it.
You get it.
Okay, now more locally here in Montgomery County, some of our local queer activists would include Bruce Williams, who is a political and social activist, the mayor of Tacoma Park, first openly gay elected politician in Maryland, and dedicated his career to advocating for civil rights and environmental stewardship, in particular the Chesapeake Bay. Susan Silber, who was a legal and social activist, Tacoma Park city attorney, and spent her career dedicated to fighting for the rights of, among other families, but also queer families, and labor rights and living rights, home ownership rights. I don't know the right word. Robert Coggins was the founder of the Suburban Maryland Gay Alliance and was critical in the passing of LGBTQ civil rights legislation. And our own Evan Glass, our current Montgomery County Council representative, was instrumental in the passing in 2020 of an LGBTQ Bill of Rights, and in 2023, most recently, a resolution to protect gender-expansive communities, in particular the trans community. Okay. With all of that progress, we still have work to do. As recently as 2023, there were protests outside of drag queen story hours, and children were protected by this parasol patrol of parents and loving community members who wanted to make sure that kids were able to get to their story times without the trauma of the protesters outside. And within our school system in MCPS, there were families who wanted to opt out of reading about different types of families. MCPS includes diverse representation in their literacy curriculum. And the courts eventually decided that families can't opt out. That's the curriculum. So, and then there is, in 2023, published the first ever LGBTQ plus community survey. And some of the feedback, which I thought was relevant in particular to us out here in Poolesville, quotes like this: I found the closer to DC, the safer I feel. There are some places farther out in the more rural parts of the country, that's us, where, as a visibly trans woman, I don't feel 100% safe at all times. And we know that just like all of our residents, the western part of the county is underrepresented. And you can't really read it from here, but in that very last line on the page, and down here, it says that there were 0 respondents from Poolesville and Western County in this survey. And it notes that the western part of the county was underrepresented in the survey, meaning 0. What respondents did say, though, was that in order to feel more safe and welcomed in their community, that they would love some actual visible symbols. So more LGBTQ events, not just during June, not just display the flag during June. In other communities, flags are flown and encouraged at restaurants, retail, and bars year-round. And Poolesville is starting on that journey of representation. Last year, the commissioners funded and helped support the formation of the Poolesville Pride Club and the first ever march in our Poolesville Day Parade last September. We've also been meeting with the Queer Student Union at Poolesville High School. And in fact, they have written a letter, which I'm hoping one of the students here tonight will read out loud for us. And there's a copy of it on your desk there. We've been having increasing support from all of our county and state representatives as well. This was at the Taste of Riverworks booth. We had visitors. I don't have all their pictures, but we had additional representatives. But we have Lily Chi here and Lorianne Sales. And I'm sure that Sam will talk a little bit more about the response from our community members. So, according to the survey, what can we be doing better? Increased visibility and resources. And given that, in particular, queer youth are 4 times more likely to commit suicide. The Trevor Project is a nonprofit geared towards the prevention of suicide. And trans youth are 9 times more likely. Research from the Trevor Project says that creating accessible and affirming spaces is one of the most important things that we can do to create a safer community for our youth. So, as a board, we are working on doing that, creating a safer and more welcoming space here in Poolesville. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Sam, who's going to tell you more about Poolesville Pride Club, one of those ongoing efforts. And then once everyone's done speaking, I'll read the resolution that we have.
Hi, y'all. Sam Cooper, 20330 Whites Ferry Road. I think this is the 3rd time I've had the honor and privilege of speaking in front of this body. And already I'm starting to feel kind of shoehorned into this like spokesperson role. It's easy to feel like the representative of an incredibly diverse and rich community when you end up speaking for them over and over again. It's a role I'm happy to fulfill, but it can create the optics that, this is one person's hobby horse, sort of pet project, or it is a special interest activity, right? So to combat those optics, I would just like to see people in this room raise their hand if they're part of the LGBTQIA plus community or love someone who is.
That's great.
Poolesville Pride Club is here to reflect that reality. It's not that we're not trying to change things. We're trying to change the optics of the Ag Reserve. As we just heard, symbols of inclusivity are incredibly important to our children's mental health, to our sense of belonging and well-being. But we're not really here representing, in some ways, like a change of the culture. We're here reflecting our ongoing presence. We've always been here. We will always be here. And, despite that, there still seems to be, as evidenced earlier this evening, some confusion about why pride matters and why symbols of pride matter. And so I've asked a few of our community members to read a few statements about why pride matters. So I'm going to invite everyone with a slip that they're reading off of, or a statement, to line up against this wall in numerical order. So far, the response to our work has been incredibly positive. Yes, there are some naysayers and fearmongers, but at the Taste of Riverworks event, the overwhelming feedback was, we can't believe it's 2024 and it's only happening now. Both queer people and queer allies of all different ages and ethnic backgrounds and socioeconomic strata came and affirmed to us with their own stories, with their own presence, the need for, again, symbols of inclusivity. The Pride Fest that's happening, our first ever Pride Fest that's happening, June 15th here in town, Everyone seems really, really excited, and this is an energy that I think we want to bring to the town. We want to, as I say, I've been telling everyone, we're throwing Pride Fest as a party for the town. It's not just for the LGBTQIA plus community. It's a celebration we're throwing y'all. So I hope that you show up. I hope you support. I hope you come and join in the radical joy that is the queer experience. But already I feel like I've talked too much, so I'm going to cede the mic and some airtime to some of my beloved community members who were gracious enough to show up really like within hours' notice. I mean, we only had a few days. We only heard that this was happening a few days ago. And if this is any indication of the passion and the solidarity that is to be found in the LGBTQI community, let it be known far and wide. So I'm going to turn it over to my friends.
But before you get started, I just want to say you all are welcome here, and we appreciate you coming. And Sam, we always appreciate your leadership as well. And you're not sucking up enough air out of the room. You could just keep talking, and we're going to keep listening.
I will.
But to the rest of the people that are in the audience, as well as the members that are going to be reading their statements, we appreciate you and we see you. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. Evening. My name's James Miner. I have lived in Poolesville off and on for 42 years minus college. Pride matters to me because in 2024, there is still a huge psychological aspect to growing up queer. I grew up here queer in this community. I had one teacher that I could talk to and confide in, and a lot of probably your generation of children know that person quite well, Bill Harris. There were a couple of times when I was trying to commit suicide, and he was the only person that I could talk to convince me to keep going on. He was a great friend and mentor to me. Pride still matters in 2024 because the world is still not a safe place for the LGBTQIA plus community. A record of 510 pieces of anti-LGBTQIA plus legislation were introduced in the United States last year. Being queer is punishable by death in 55 countries. Like all human beings, all we want to do is live, be happy, be loved with our family. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jane Murrell, and I live in the beautiful Poolesville suburb of Dickerson. I live there with my partner Vivian. We're kind of lucky in many ways. We're women. We can fly under the radar. We're just those crazy spinsters that live over across the way. But, you know, we're very lucky in many respects to be living where we are when we are right now. And I count myself so lucky in that respect. And I'm so thankful that you all are recognizing this, and that Sam is organizing this, and that the world is slowly coming to its senses, that there's more out there than just what meets the eye. So, Pride matters to me because the LGBTQIA plus community heroes and their stories are often being erased from the schools' curricula, the textbooks, and from local history, as we kind of just heard. The impact of their societal invisibility can be too often manifested as internalized homophobia and sometimes existential despair. You know, it's important to see us and our histories represented so that we can imagine, you know, our own futures and our own legacies here. And you know what? You can't opt us out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Adamson. I've lived in Dickerson for about 10 years now. I live there with my husband, Yair. And Pride matters because many LGBTQ plus people continue to feel the need to shrink and hide in our society. And believe it or not, I mean, I'm 6'7", but believe it or not, it's been a challenge for me. I still continue to struggle to take up space and be visible. And so whether it be in an intolerant family, town, or workplace, the pressure and shame of a closeted life not only robs our communities of the talents and contributions that queer people have to make, but it also, as has been stated earlier, continues to add to a continuing mental health crisis in our community, in the queer community specifically. And so we know that spaces that affirm queer identities and queer families prevent suicide, substance abuse, self-loathing, and unnecessary suffering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. My name is Angela Gonzalez. I live in Montgomery County for about 25 years, but I am a teacher here at Riverworks Art Center in Poolesville. As a Latina, I have seen the need of our community, also in Pride, and me as people of color. Pride matters for many reasons, but I think it's a really necessity in our health part of our community, as far as the AIDS in our era, in our community, the loss of many lives during the pandemic. We lost a lot of eldership, leadership, people that were models to us. And I think that our new generation needs that leadership, needs that information to be safe, to survive the future, our heritage. Speaking to language for me, it is really important, because being as part of this community, it will help to advocate for other children or families that are not able to express themselves through languages. And I hope that you understand the needs, the love, the passion, the care for our community, not only from just having a flag, but the happiness that brings the colors, the energy that brings to this community, the business that we can have here, how we can grow and how can impact as a Poolesville community. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Yair. I live in Dickerson with Jonathan, my husband. Pride matters to me because it shines a light on the ongoing fight for LGBTQ plus acceptance and liberation. No one wants to feel marginalized or merely tolerated in their community simply for loving who they love or living in their truth. Our belonging in the human tapestry is self-evident because we are already here, and like Sam said, we will always be here. Thank you.
Once again, my name is Sam Cooper. I've lived in Poolesville for about 26 of my 36 years. I hope that by now it's evident that pride matters because radical LGBTQIA plus joy matters. We will no longer settle for the queer story being told as a tragedy. Our lives are testaments to resilience, to solidarity, to self-discovery and self-knowledge. We lead on the fronts of creativity, culture, freedom, and fluidity. A place with a healthy queer community is a place that embodies vibrancy, liberty, and expansive love. Pride matters because we matter, and we refuse not to. And so we urge this governing body and the observers in the internet ether to adopt, again, more symbols of inclusivity like the pride flag. We urge this governing body to officially exclaim our support for Evan Glass's LGBT Bill of Rights and Gender Inclusivity Act. We know that this is only the beginning, and we know that we're going to be leaning on the leadership of our youth for what happens next in the future. And so in that spirit, we're now going to invite a representative from the Poolesville High School Queer Student Union to read a statement that the students collectively drafted together. And we will end our remarks with the remarks of the young. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marissa Proxima. I live in Elizabeth's Delight. I'm Commissioner Proxima's daughter. I'd like to read out a letter that is taken from... We are students at Poolesville High School. Some of us are residents of Poolesville, and some of us commute from other parts of the county to PHS every day for school. We love our school and appreciate the teachers, businesses, and community that support us. We are writing to you with a simple request. Please wave a pride flag proudly next to the American flag on Wayland Commons. Pride flags are a symbol of inclusivity, not only for the queer community, but for anyone who has ever felt like they weren't a part of the majority. Waving a pride flag, you appease the queer community. The pride flag is an aspirational symbol. From the beginning, when this country was founded, the freedom and rights represented by the American flag only included white, landowning men. The struggle to help America realize its aspiration of true equality and freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There are many places in the United States where these basic rights are still denied to queer kids. Fortunately, we don't live somewhere like Florida. Instead, we live here in Maryland, where we generally feel safe, as long as we're quiet and stay somewhat hidden. Very grateful words from people online who believe our very existence is a threat to their own beliefs, to fellow students who refuse to use our pronouns or names, or parents who still hope we will become someone related in elementary and middle school, where there were no gathering spaces for queer students and a health curriculum that made us feel othered rather than normal. Not putting up a pride flag in the center of town does the opposite. It makes Poolesville complicit to the loud and homophobic minority, and it plays into stereotypes of rural communities in urban settings, but that has not been our experience. Poolesville has been a very welcoming community. Poolesville's homely nature lends itself to community values of inclusivity and openness. We know there will always be people opposed to our cause. We anticipate the angry messages from trolls online, and we are aware of the potential for our well-being instead. Raising a flag is a visible act of solidarity that helps us feel safer and more welcome, despite the discomfort caused by a hateful minority. We are beautiful. And we can do this as long as we have adults and safe spaces to get through those hard moments together. As queer kids, we often look at the world from a different perspective, waving the pride flag, until we are old enough to do the same for those who follow.
That's beautiful. Having a proud mama moment. Do you want to Do you want to read our proclamation first?
Code or law or anything like that. It's expressing the unified wishes.
Whereas all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and whereas the town of Poolesville, and whereas the town of Poolesville is committed to creating a safe LGBTQIA plus people in our diverse community, and remains vital to end all remaining discrimination and prejudice. And whereas this nation, the town of Poolesville calls upon the people of our community awareness and provides support and advocacy for the surrounding LGBT, hereby officially proclaims the month of June as Pride Month in the town of
Sarah, for that. Thank you for all the speakers and for everyone that spoke from the heart. I think this group of commissioners has been visible in their support ability to reach out. And we ask you to continue to do that too, because you're helping everybody in today. And support, recognize, and welcome and celebrate everybody. So that was wonderful. So that policy. So if there's more communication, more to be spoken about from where we just came from, the pride flag, but it's our flag policy in general. And sorry, come on. If you want to come up and you can identify yourself and you're going to want to say something and others may we'll go ahead and do our intro and kind of get the discussion rolling. And then this is something that we've already had one good meeting on. And Wade, I don't know if there's any more background you want to give additional to where we are.
Well, guidelines in there per Commissioner Reed, and really have been using to have those guidelines and standards in place of what to choose. Question of display location, from our own flagpole.
We post this draft up on this. Oh, well,
One mouse between us.
It doesn't work very well for me anyway.
Hang on.
Then we're open.
Usually it's cold.
Just zoom in now.
There we go.
Go.
That's it.
To create a safer and healthier space for stations, helps people who might be feeling invisible or flags to fly each month. So it might be autism communities that is kind of the motivation behind this policy, Pride flag for this month. But we're just continuing that. Not leave any loopholes open. The gentleman said earlier that this would have nothing to do with the First Amendment rights of our community. So I think
This here, again, appreciate everybody being here. Sarah, thanks for your leaders, the inclusivity on its sleeve. We want people to know that they're welcome here. A little sample of that tonight, but that's okay. Everybody has their with town government thing, right? And I've brought of our community firsthand, and I absolutely believe in it tonight because when we've had this discussion here behind the desk, it really had there and talk about that people are. It's like, okay, we did something, and then we know my fellow commissioners feel this way. This is about a community and recognizing people, and somehow we're dealing with this like we're dealing with chickens.
Roosters allowed.
Yeah, no roosters allowed. But people, this is about a much bigger thing than dealing with chickens. Giving us some background, we have in front into the future, and while all county has different rules than so, we're paying very close attention to that. Make anything that we decide or we work on, that's not what it's about. We are also I'm not saying this because I have any idea what direction of the diversity of our discussions that support those causes. How do we protect and have a lot of discussions about something I'm sucking all the air out of the room again, but we could do in terms of a community.
What's it going to look like having people come in with their 12 months of the year if we were flying a month apart? I've been tossing this around in my head, and I just sort of.
You try to see, can you Google that?
It's like a flag that says, and I'm not saying that specific one, but like feel marginalized side. Do people get to come in for debate and for discussion? It seems that certainly the competition, everyone's going to want to have their flag up.
And I was wondering,
me a second.
I was gonna say, I think it's best if people come up, because otherwise, like, is it a strong enough message?
Couple months or a month at a time, but again, trying to figure out like what other flags we should and should.
You know, the town of Poolesville, our budget is on behalf of their residents. And ours are covered, that we still, some more than others, think that we're trying to a pride flag up and let's see what happens. And other municipalities accomplish our goals and make sure that the want, but at the same time, we're the people behind you.
3 McKernan Way. Funded. And I do want to reading at this commemorative flag policy quite closely. A gentleman earlier, was saying choice diversity. We embody it culturally. Majority population of this town, because that it kind of implies like assimilating. Sarah, come at these things, capacity as a volunteer in some way or another. Off to the current town commissioners, because I think that for those who are listening who the inclusion as a government will clear it up. Dear current town committee, all community members are welcomed. The volumes of Poolesvillian story to write future history through our current actions. Messages of inclusivity and belonging be seen as a representative community in Poolesville is a commemorative, but also provide open opportunity to be included in future discussions. To accomplish here with a one flag, it does those who are invisible into one thing, because it does not invite ability standpoint, but from a true inclusion standpoint. That
Some great statements. Come on up.
That flag, although it's lovely, the issue here. It reminds all lives matter. It's like it's not addressed. See that, I mean, I can only, and that's what I want to say.
That doesn't stop people from, and I talk about the community as a whole, not just I'm from your yard, but.
Thank you.
It's Delight. I am a queer member of our local community, and I have been here. I apologize, I don't have a prepared statement. Legal issues with the pride flag, and I think that's totally understandable in any way. That is a serious concern. I've the policy that you guys drafted, the part where it says adult or I'm concerned that that's possibly like I'm against issue online currently with a lot of queer spaces, kinds of statements to really
Hey,
considered.
thanks for that viewpoint.
No?
Are you next?
Item D, I'm also worried about the word racial, like pride flag or Asian, the wordage there. So I would recommend changing that to.
Themes and speeches.
I very much think that
Discriminatory themes,
Perfect.
speeches. I think that's going to.
Thank you. Oh, right, we're overcoming reluctance here.
Already up there, I apologize. My name is Sam Sinkovich. I live on a lot of other groups and how they. I know one of the worries is that other groups or interests would want, or the what was proposed for their month. We have Women's Month. So these are things that, if we were added recognized, have a chance to get on here, that represent our community here. That was the main statement I wanted to make, is that we might be able to use some.
May I add to that?
Sure, go for
it. June is Pride Month, August week. October is Public Safety Month, as reported by the National Highway. And I don't mean to belittle any of this or month. November is Blood Cancer Awareness Month. November is and I stopped looking
So
at
Jeff, policy request, yeah, so I'm going, we're having a tire safety problem, but I help us narrow it down to like.
I just want, maybe I could offer.
I'm just saying, I think there's a solution.
Yes, just a little bit before, right, so we can bat it back and forth at will. So it would kind of rotate along. Maybe there's a temporary seam ahead with the kids in front of it, because, well, a couple of things, and I said this already before. Flags, the 3 flags in the front. So I think, and also, if you're different iterations, and one of the Maryland flag and the Poolesville flag, electric sign, which may get us in hot water.
I think we're able to get the electronics.
would like to remind everyone that represent a cause, right? It's African Americans, or differentiate presenting a cause, or is it representing people? I I understand towards history of certain of people, not a cause. So I would recommend a week, a month, whatever it is for to have flags that represent, to say that we are just going to focus on celebrating, and when it comes to causes, yes, we're going to consider, but perhaps those can be two separate things.
He's been texting.
Days there is national adoption
But flag with some with a blue cross and some red in it, and by the city of Boston Supreme Court.
The message is one.
The community will go.
Appreciate that.
And there that is for the commemorative flag, and then I totally
On the band.
What I'm looking for, and I know what I'm seeing. And the people who are asking for commemorative flags, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, to have it.
And
where we display
and because there might be really working with us, and we want to be demonstrative on relatively easily too. Position. I don't think you'll have. I think anybody else up there in the crowd be had on this, or are we going to be waiting for town staff for more?
They never got a chance to share their.
While Wade's scrolling.
Yeah, because
good seeing you all. Take care.
somewhere in here, and maybe the type is just too small for me to read. But there was never. Oh,
No, this
maybe my eyes deceived me.
No, this policy is drafted from municipalities and states that have done exactly that. It is government speech only. It is not third parties. It's not recommendations from any religious group, from anybody else coming forward to want a flag. Staff puts together, probably with the president of the commission, and every January, a list for support.
Right.
That type of thing. A regular commissioner could bring it up to the body, but it is about the government speech, not about any third party, any other groups or committees or anything like that, their flags. So then we just lined it out. So those 4 flags, we could talk about locations and standards for how to develop, what can be proposed. And so these are from attorneys right here, exactly what they've used in other standards and guidelines through several different policies. And I understand the minor wordsmithing that we could do to make it much more clear. Like I said, we just took it straight from just what attorneys had written.
okay.
In all of your research, Wade, and sorry to interrupt, Jeff, if you have more, that's fine. What have you seen language that, and I'm echoing Ed's thoughts here too, which have kind of been echoing in the back of my head the whole time, is that especially considering that we hold elections every 2 years, and we've seen some towns overturn their policy on this due to a change in government, is there a way that whatever we create can have a little more protection against that?
Not in a policy. You cannot tie the hands of future elected officials with a policy.
Okay.
I mean, that's what democracy is. If we get elected out of office, it's because people don't want policies like that and they want something different.
Right, but I'm just thinking like, because of this is, here we are, this is a people thing, right? But trying to make it so that it doesn't have to be, I'm not saying that I'm trying to lock it in forever, but I am saying that I want to be able to withstand, that the policy has legs. We're going to spend a lot of time on this and we're affecting people directly. So I just want to make sure that that's very important that we come up with something that really does hit the mark. And if we need to tweak, I get that. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want it to be subject to the whims of, this could turn into a referendum of some sort if we're not careful, and that's not the intention of this. So.
Also, I should like to say, if there's anyone in the LGBTQ community that lives within town limits, is 18 years old or older, or knows anyone like that that's interested in politics, like we have an election coming up.
Yeah.
It'd be good to have somebody that has some representation on the board.
So I'm going to tell you.
And lots of volunteer positions in our committees too.
I did get a letter.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll share it. Anyway, okay, you guys, have we had enough for tonight yet, or where are we going from here?
Can we just talk through what are the identified next steps? We've heard a lot
I'm fair
of
for that.
fantastic
Yeah. I'm up for that.
feedback, and I would like us to close with what are the next steps. And
How about if I summarize just for a minute, and you can clean up my summary?
sure.
So I don't think that the LGBTQ community will be satisfied with Martin's flag. And I appreciate I do like that flag, and I appreciate the intention behind it, but I think we've heard loud and clear from the community that's not necessarily going to be give the weight that we're looking for. So we can take that off for now. We can take that off the mark. I think that we have a commitment from the commissioners here that the actual pride flag itself, I'm not going to a flagpole just yet, but the pride flag itself will be displayed at a minimum on our electronic sign, and once we, in conjunction with making sure that we have a great, very rock solid display scenario. So go ahead.
I was going to just add in there, because Jeff had said something earlier, the risk of not, wherever you put it on town property, the risk is the same, whether it's on a flag.
Understood.
Okay.
That's great.
The risk is the same. Not following the policy is your biggest risk, and not having a policy is even a bigger risk.
Right, so we have a commitment to displaying the pride flag, but we also have the same commitment to developing a policy that we feel provides the utmost in protection while still giving weight to the community that's required and that is requested and makes sense. So I think that we can say those are all tenets of whatever solution we're going to come up with. Open for more discussion since we've kind of laid those ground rules down.
So what I'm hearing you say is, it sounds like the legal language, the other commissioners, are you feeling comfortable with that in terms of the language outlining the policy?
Yeah, I mean, it seems, if Wade's researched it, and Jay's
as
commented on it,
Wade
I'm
said,
good with
they took it directly from other
Yeah.
successful policies. Okay, so the legal language we're feeling good about.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that just yet because I wanted my goal really for tonight was to flesh out. There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
And I wanted to flesh out the variables, and I am definitely in favor of establishing a policy that all of us can agree to, or 3 out of the 5 of us can agree to, and we feel solid about. But I feel good about this, but to be honest, I want to spend a little more time on it.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to delay. I don't want to
sure.
delay, but I want to be prudent.
And one of the things that I was thinking about to be added to this was that, pardon me, the paragraph that says unscheduled displays. I would like to have that substituted so that instead of saying, and I don't want to wordsmith it exactly, I just want to tell you what I'm thinking, that I would think instead of a Poolesville commissioner coming to the commission, it should be a group.
No, you crossed the line.
We're trying to
Why?
establish that this is not third-party speech. Like, this is not free speech. This is a statement from the government reflecting the values of the government. It should not be
Otherwise,
a cause brought to us by people. That's the opposite. That would make us much more liable.
But you get where he's
Let me-
coming from on this,
Let me
too.
give you
I
an
get
example.
it.
Let me just give you an
Yeah.
example. I'm
agreeing with Jeff.
Not 100% comfortable with. So let's say the Nazi quilting bee comes to me and says, Jeff, we want to put the flag on the flagpole. And my first reaction was like, no, go away. The answer was no.
Tell them where they can put the flag.
And then it's not really up to me individually. So therefore, I have to come to
It
the
is.
Poolesville
If
commissioners and
you
say,
feel that it's not part of your values, you don't bring it to the board, you don't bring it to the board.
All you
Oh,
can
'cause
simply
that-
say is the policy is that the staff set the schedule based on nationally recognized whatever. Like, you can just literally tell them what the policy is. I'm sorry, we're not able to display your flag.
Or, Jeff, I'll give you an out.
I'll just give them a link and say.
Well, here's an
talk to
out.
Wade.
If you, Jeff, but if you're in that situation, one of the things you can do is you can say, thank you for sharing your thoughts, your request. All right, I will discuss it with the other commissioners, because anything that moves forward, you have to have a majority of the Poolesville commissioners must vote affirmatively to approve it. All right, so you could either say no and tell them why you don't agree with it, or you could say, I'm going to bring it back and share with my fellow commissioners. Then, if you don't want to just say no by yourself, then you can have a group hear it out, right? But it's coming from you. You're moving that piece forward, and then the commissioners would have to make a decision.
Well, that's the part I don't like.
Which part?
I don't want some some organization coming to me and saying, we want you to present our case.
You just tell them no.
No, but then it's Jeff making a decision on behalf of the town, and that's not fair.
Then tell them I'll bring it to the town, to the town commissioners, and then
we're just going in circles.
Yeah, it is a circle, but at some point, if someone, put it on me, if some group came to me and said, hey, Ed, we want you to put a Black Panthers flag up. Now, either I'm going to say, well, that's really not the spirit of which this policy was set in place, but if I wasn't comfortable saying no, then I would come back, hey, someone has approached me from town, but I'm representing it, so it fits the language, and then we have a vote on it, and then you still say no if it doesn't fit. All right? So it's because I do believe there are going to be people who are going to want to test it out. All right? It's been my experience in Poolesville, my lived experience, when I've walked through some of the neighborhoods in Poolesville where I saw flags I don't agree with, and I felt uncomfortable, right? But I keep moving, but I would not be surprised if some of the same folks say, hey, well, you know what? I'm going to put in a request because I think this flag represents my heritage, and I want this flag displayed. Now, if they ask me personally, I say no, because I understand what it means. But they have the right to do that. You follow me? So it's just a matter of yeah. So it's just we all have a different comfort level. All right. So if I was uncomfortable, then I bring it to all of you. So I'm not holding the bag by myself. But if I'm comfortable, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And if I get voted out, I get voted out. It is what it is.
Just speaking as a former congressional staffer, what's going to happen is if they go to you and you say, I don't want to do this, they're going to go to Mark, and Mark's going to say what he says. If he says he don't want to do it, they're not going to stop. They're going to find somebody. If they don't find anybody, that's the answer. You guys have made a decision. You don't want to pick this up. That's what it works.
Go ahead in the back there. Yes, come on up.
Take your time. Take your time.
No rush.
She was like, which
Julie Sanchez, Haller Avenue, make up a form. Make them submit a form to you. The name of the organization, why they, a description of their flag, their banner, why they feel it should be displayed, who's the lead on that committee from that group, and say, submit it to the office, I don't know who, one of the ladies, make them fill out a form. That way, they don't have to come to you face to face. Fill out a form.
Wade said.
Then that becomes
No
a third
forms,
party.
nothing would be accepted. That's.
That
No
becomes
forms?
No forms.
Oh.
No requests.
It becomes a third party request.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
because then you have to make choices between different groups, and that's where free speech becomes
Okay, well,
the
I
issue.
thought that would be a way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for trying to bail me out.
I was trying to help you there. Okay, thank you.
I guess that's why they call it politics, right? Because somebody's going to come up and say, hey, you know what? I really think there should be a whatever kind of thing. But then I would have to come and present it as if it was my own idea, all right? And so then it's on me. So.
Stu Ann, were you ready to go again? Did you want something else or Link to express what you were going to say?
No, I just had the same thought as Link. I was just going to say, Jeff, if they go to you and, and you don't give them the answer they want, they're just going to keep going down the line. So it's not, that was it.
Okay.
It does seem it's an odd mechanism, right, to try and stay out of the legal aspect of it when you can't submit a form, when the commissioners, our hands are somewhat tied to who we could recommend or can we be sued individually or anything like that. Again, I'm not operating out of fear, but we do have attorneys that are trying to make sure that we're trying to keep ourselves out of trouble while still representing the community. So, further?
I had wanted to say this earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt people. As we are being mindful of protecting the town and a potential liability. I just want us to consider the cost of inaction as well is even more significant. A life. Yes, money is important, and I'm not trying to undervalue the taxpayer's burden and the cost of a potential lawsuit, but the alternative is literally life. And so I want us to not get weighed down by, and I know caution is more the word that you're feeling represents what you're feeling. Yeah, okay. I don't want our caution to paralyze us into bold leadership when that really is what is needed in this moment.
I'm with you. I mean, I think we're headed somewhere. So, and we've come a lot further than we ever have. And I think that the forum's been great. It was a town meeting that turned into a forum, and that was awesome. I don't necessarily, I think that we need to digest just one more time, because I think we've come a long way from where we first started with this. And, I feel like we probably need to have another meeting, and we need to have more discussion after we talk about what we've done here. We've come a long way, you guys. This is a big deal for us. It's a big deal for our community. And I appreciate your leadership on this too, Sarah. I just want to make sure we make the right decision, and that we do it the right way. And I agree. More needs to be done. It's not just go status quo. I get it.
Yeah.
We're trying to overcome.
I was just going to say, could you be more specific about what additional information, for example, that you want waiting files to gather or changes, or is it just that you want to digest and say?
Well, no, I want to digest. That's one, but I also want to. I think that if we're unanimous, that we absolutely feel it's important to display the actual pride flag, that we recognize that that's a step that we've taken tonight, and that now we all decide and come back to each other and talk about where and how.
Okay.
And how often, and all communities potentially are doing things differently. The Pride flag flies 365 days a year some places, and other times it's swapped in and out, and there's other places where it's just run up the flagpole and all the pictures get taken and then it comes down. And obviously that's not going to be us. But I want to be able to have a further discussion on that.
Hey, wait, will you when you're talking to Jay and looking into this stuff, will you see if there's any drawbacks to just for argument's sake, like flying a pride flag 12 months a year and like not having like other flags rotated in and out, as long as
I'll just answer you, because we've had this discussion already, as long as it's the speech and the values and signed by the commissioners, then you can do that.
Okay.
I would
Your
just,
choice.
I would say though, I support, the pride piece, but I also say, let's make sure that others aren't left out, because there are silent folk, there's still silent people in this community that, have historically have had some challenges here in Poolesville. And so I would hate to see those voices not recognized. I'd hate to look at Tina Clark in the eye and not be able to answer.
Nobody wants to do that.
Would you envision like just us like sitting down and figuring out 12 flags to fly? Like
I would go back
hammering
and
out one day?
I would
let
first hand it over
town
to the
look at-
staff. That's
Yeah.
their-
Follow the policy.
I would follow, yeah, I agree. I would follow the policy. We create a policy, then follow the policy. Don't deviate from the policy.
Of course.
But follow the policy. So I think once we get there, and Jim, if you don't mind, I'll answer your question. I think the next steps is that we go back and we digest what we've talked about tonight. We've also given other members of the community to weigh in, those who might watch a rerun of this. And then we take that information, make sure that we all individually do our own research, take what you've shared and hear, and then we come back to the table, because I do think that we would all agree in flying the flag, but I also think we have to work out the logistics, the duration, in terms of where, the amount of time that it would be flown, and then how does that look for other things that fit within the policy. So,
Part 1, complete. Part 2, to come.
okay.
You guys, board okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Everybody,
Yeah.
thank you for everything tonight. We really appreciate you.
And we still
And
got stuff on the agenda.
I like what we're doing, and I like where we're headed.
That town manager report.
Yeah.
But you're important.
Okay, so you guys could welcome to stick around for, what's left? Town manager's report. It only takes a minute if you want to hang and hear the rest of it. Fair enough. And we will see you on June 15th. And looking forward to it. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for organizing.
Hey, wait.
Let everybody
I got a
leave at
text
once
message
now.
from a resident. I got a text message from a resident saying the YouTube stopped working.
Yes, we're working on it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Working right now.
All right,
It went over 2 hours, it started going on the fritz a
Yeah.
little bit.
just letting us know we.
Yeah.
By the way, the
It's-
resident-
It's now working again fine,
Resident,
so
my
we'll
wife.
see how the stream.
Resident.
An anonymous resident.
Anonymous resident that has your text number.
Yeah, Candace, my wife.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks, Sue Ann.
So, yeah. Yeah. That was kind of early on in the whole discussion.
Link, you left and everybody decided to
We're
leave.
ready for you.
Okay, yeah, once again, I'll talk about the water tank. There should be people up on the tank tomorrow,
Okay.
finishing that thing, get the curtain off of it, and they're still on target. They're saying by the 7th, but I don't think it's gonna happen by then.
Right.
But there's supposed to be people on the tank tomorrow. They said that yesterday, or they said it on Friday about Monday, but they didn't come out today. But
Understood. Tomorrow's not supposed to rain until later in the day. So they can put a full day in if they show up.
all they have to do is prep it, because the stencil guy is coming out Wednesday.
Did the stencil guy, he's confirmed.
Wednesday, he's confirmed, so they have to, they need to get
Okay.
that sandblasted and repainted, ready for him.
Understood.
Did you get a preview before they install it?
We're not showing it to Jim or anyone, yes, staff did.
Yeah.
It'd
Staff,
be
oh,
it'd be
good.
my fault if something's wrong with it.
Right, this is staff's response that I
Good for
get
you.
every day.
Yeah,
Trust us.
yeah.
It's gonna be right. Okay,
This
staff.
makes life a lot easier.
Fine. I trust.
How about the word school over the portico at the front entrance?
That's not us.
CHOO.
Yeah.
Let's see, West Willard flashing crosswalk signs, Precedence Crew have installed those at the intersection of West Willard and Wooten. The contractor did extend that sidewalk area, and he built the wooden boardwalk just in time for school to get out. So,
That's great.
yes. We're also be installing another set of flashing crosswalks probably later in the summer before school starts down in Spurrier and West Willard. That's really an active crosswalk right there also, so.
Good.
And it's a speed zone there, so get that taken care of. West Willard sidewalk, we secured our bids for the construction of the sidewalk. We're just waiting to get the easement documents back from the landowner, so.
Where was that?
That is the West Willard sidewalk.
Up by Fisher and West Willard.
Oh, okay.
That
Oh,
section
sure.
that's
Oh,
missing.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only like that wide.
Yeah, we shared the schematic at the Parks Board meeting.
And that's where the person gave permission to,
We're waiting on that
As soon as we have
permission.
that piece of paper signed, we can record it and go to construction.
oh, wonderful, thank
We're
you.
ready to go.
Yep.
And also, we have a bunch of sidewalks in Tama that we have itemized out for a construction list too, at the same contractor, and we'll award that once we get that in place also.
Is that because the trees pushed the slabs up?
Yes, really bad over there.
That's what Preston was saying, yeah.
Electronic signs should be installed later this week. As you see, the footers have been poured out there, it's all in place, so.
It looks, from the frame, it looks huge.
It does look huge, that's what I said, I came up, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be bigger, and this was the smaller size that they had quoted us, so.
It's gonna be huge.
And then once they get the sign up and everything, we're building you a base to it.
Yes, yeah.
I know, yeah.
That's all I have. You guys are, huh?
The bathroom.
Almost bathroom's finished.
Is it open for business?
Yes, it is. I've used
Go
it.
over there, and,
It is nice.
$260,000, enjoy the bathroom.
But you know what? I tell you what, I was there for the track.
Is it $1 million
You need to have
experience?
soap.
Can I make a
Make
motion?
sure they put
I know,
soap.
because we didn't have the keys, so,
I'll second it.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
there you go.
All right.
All in favor?
Yes. Yeah, look, that was what they were,
Hang in there, kids.
they were saying, man, there's no soap in here.
Man was supposed to come over and
Yes.
do whatever he was gonna do.